Greetings all, welcome back to Euro Truck. Hope everybody's having a wonderful time as we're preparing for the holidays. We've still got about another week to go, but we are getting really close. We do have quite a bit of money to spend. We're still working on aspects of, what was it? Aspects of professionalism. So let's go ahead and try to get that done fairly quickly. I'm going to get one truck now. We'll see about getting another one, but we'll start off with one. Where do we go? Company manager? No, that's not what I want. I want the truck dealer. And of course, we're going to stick with the Volvos probably throughout the remaining of the series. I think we have room here, yeah. And we've already no, did we upgrade our, let's go to the dealer. I'm not sure if we've upgraded our truck or not. So I do want them to have the best they can have. A little bit slow there because I have to reach for the mouse. I play with the, of course I've already said it, I'm certain a dozen times or more. Play with the Xbox controller, so reaching for the mouse and other various aspects of what we need, the keyboard and all that, is a bit of a hindrance at times. Not to mention, for whatever reason, it feels like the mouse doesn't quite move slowly, or well, it doesn't feel right. I'll just put it that way. Whenever you go to mouse over things, it just doesn't quite feel right. Probably a setting that I need to adjust, and I'm too lazy to do that since I don't use the mouse that much during this game. Yeah, so I just want to make sure that we've got this truck up to date so that our, I almost said companions, our hired drivers will have a decent truck. And I'm going to try my best to drive realize the last time was a mess. Got a lot of sounds going on right now. Let's actually move up. There we go. Just making sure that we got everything. Okay, we got that. Don't care for the chassis. And we got that. That's the, yep, that's everything. So let's go ahead and hop into our other truck and get that one upgraded. Alright, where is the drive button? There we go. 179,000. Alright, we might. Let's upgrade this one and see if we have enough for another truck. I'm hoping so. And then we'll go grab a trailer, and it'll be a short run this time because I'm already wasting way too much time. I think I know where the shop is. Hopefully, I think we... No, it's not the same one we just came from, is it? Relatively the same area. I think it's... Yeah, I see it now. It's kind of hidden there because somebody's parked right on top of it. Alright, nobody's coming. We're going to go ahead and take our ticket. Because depending on where you're from, right hand on red is legal. I don't know all the rules in Europe because I don't live there. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, you gotta love that. Use your turn signal after you've already started the turn. That's how we drive. I joke, but yeah, there's a lot of people out there that do drive like that. And then when the officer asks if you used your turn signal, you can say yes, right? As long as they don't ask at what point did you use your turn signal. Okay, go ahead and confirm that. Yeah, I gotta squint my eyes here. No, it doesn't look like we have enough for another truck. No, we sure don't. Okay, well, we will go ahead and use this truck for now. Let's grab some cargo, and I guarantee it, there's no cargo, right? Now that I said something, there is cargo. And I said it's going to be a relatively short trip. I would love to get over in that area because I know there's roads we haven't been on. Let's do it. Not as short of a trip as I was wanting, but we can make do. I did get it in the right area, right? Yes, we are awesome. Get there and see what kind of cargo we get. I'll actually check it out before we leave, as well as updating our map. Get on the right side. It's not my fault, it's the steering wheel. Now I wonder in a real semi, how far do they... Oh, I need to get up there a little bit more. Didn't realize there was somebody behind me. My apologies, sir. I was just waiting on the red light. In a real semi, how far do they actually have to turn that wheel to make it actually turn? I would imagine they'd have to turn it quite a few times. Because when you're driving something that big, you don't want to be making a sharp turn in most cases unless you're actually turning. So I would imagine at least 1.5 times what you would see in a car. This guy might not actually want to wait, so we'll go ahead and go. In all actuality, I didn't want to wait that long, and I'm sure you guys probably didn't want to wait for 5 minutes for a red light. Here, we got our turn coming up. It's not that one. Here it is, I see it. Yeah, lorries and trailers don't quite drive the same. As well as they shouldn't. I do wish it was a little bit more realistic. Of course, the amount of accidents I would have would be phenomenal. I would definitely want a steering wheel. I might even want like a little fan or something kind of blowing in my face to let me know how fast I'm going so I don't have to actually look down at it. Yep, that's the one we want. Kind of resembling to like having your window down in a car. It's just it's hard to simulate actual speeds when you're playing a game versus real life. Now, if you had like the VR set, I could see that. That would probably help tremendously. But I definitely have a problem in video games judging my speed without actually looking down and seeing, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going 70 miles an hour. Yep, what did I say we were going to do? We're going to check out that cargo. We've got we have tractors? We do. What are they? I'm going to guess, and the only reason I'm going to say it is based on the color, I'm going to guess that that's a Lamborghini. I wish I could actually zoom in a little bit, but I don't have the controls set up for that. So yeah, we've got tractors, and the other thing I was going to do is our map. And I'm going to try to do it quick. I know I usually spend a little bit too much time here. The gray areas is what I was looking for. Oh, they were all over in... okay, well, we don't have any gray areas that I'm aware of. That's going to be fun. I think I'm actually going to leave that alone. I think that, well, I really don't want to go all the way up there. And I definitely don't want to go all the way down there. How about we get off the highway right there? I said it's going to be a short trip, but it's going to be a long short trip. How about that? And how are we doing on gas? We do have a new truck, but we do need rest. So we'll make a pit stop and sleep somewhere along the way. Hopefully it doesn't involve me laying the truck over in order to make that decision. So we've got 74,000. After we complete this run, that should be I was going to say enough to get another truck, but we still have not. Yeah, so much for realism. Definitely stopped a little bit too late on that one. At least I did stop though. Lost that train of thought. Surprise. Oh, talk about the trucks. Yeah, we kind of need to upgrade this one before we get another one, so I guess that's what we're going to end up doing. That stinks. That's going to be a whole nother video to get another truck. Yeah, these episodes are definitely going to be out there as far as this particular achievement goes, and I think there's more that definitely going to require a lot of work. Getting all the garages, yeah, that'll take forever, so that's not going to be one of those things I sit down and do like we're doing right now as far as achievements go. I've kind of been doing them back to back. The only reason is, excuse me, sorry about that. The only reason is, you know, we had just finished one of our characters on Star Wars, and I don't want to go right back to it because I don't want to burn through all that content, you know. I was hoping to find something on Steam, but I can't find anything that I think that people would really be interested in, and nobody's commented yet as to what they'd like to see, so it's kind of why we've been doing Euro Truck. I would like to get away from it at some point within the next day or two and try something on Steam. Yeah, this past weekend wasn't too good on Steam as far as the games that came out. Well, I say it wasn't good. In my opinion, the games that I would like to play wouldn't be all that great. I think we talked about a couple of 2Ds, and I also did look into a couple of horrors that they no. Nope, not gonna happen. One of them had way too many issues, and the other one I could not get the volumes down to where it needed to be, to where I could actually talk and play the game at the same time. I actually did go back in the settings and I jacked the sounds all the way up. The last recording I did, everything still sounded like it was too quiet on the engine, and I didn't like that. I still wish it would go up a little bit more than it is, but then I'd probably run into the problem with being able to talk and get over the game noise. You know, we were talking, I think in the last episode, about instance-based crafting as far as building houses and things like that. I'm not sure why games don't do that, you know. The majority of them are, you know, prefabs. I would really like to get out there, actually see my character chopping down some trees, kind of like what you'd see in, I'm not going to say it's a great game, but Life is Feudal would be the game that I think most people would be aware of or have seen. I myself would probably lean more towards Worm Online, or the latest version of it would be Worm Unlimited. Worm Online is obviously it's the online game, and the Unlimited is single player with multiplayer capabilities. You'd have to set up your own server, stuff like that, giving you the options to fine-tune everything to the way you like. I like the terraforming, but it's a bit slow. Just a little bit slow. I think maybe if you increase it by about 3 times, I might be happy with it. I can understand why they did that for the online version of it, though, but if we're going to go back to instance-based games, there's no reason to why you couldn't, or instance-based housing and crafting, I'll put it that way. There's no reason why you couldn't go a little bit out on there, throw in a little bit more detail. There's just so much stuff that games could do, and they're not doing it because they're not instance-basing some of that stuff. And the games that do have it instance-based are not really what I want to see. I have like a handful of games that I really like for certain aspects of that game. And if I could just take those and cram them all into one game. I really wish that I had the knowledge to be able to make games. I have done a little bit of tweaking and stuff with various games, like, you know, Farming Simulator. I have not completely thrown in mods, but I have done a little bit of mod things. Nothing that I've put up for anybody to download or nothing like that. Basically, I've taken other people's stuff and kind of rearranged it a little bit. What I haven't done is the actual graphic part of it. That I wish I had knowledge on. It's one of those things that doesn't really look like it would be that hard. It's me sitting down, taking the time to learn it, and getting a little bit carried away there. Not even signaling. Oh boy. Oh, can we save it? Nice. Yeah, it started to jackknife roll on me. Don't follow me and don't be ahead of me if you're playing this game. Well, actually, it's not too bad if you're ahead of me and we're going the same speed. I do like following other people. Just wish I could find somebody to follow. Yeah, when I did log in, there was only about 1,000 people online, so, excuse me. It doesn't surprise me that I'm not running into as many people as we've seen previously. A little bit of an odd hour too. I'll try to make sure that there's more people online next time. Yeah, there's a handful of games, like I said, if I could cram them together. And we were talking about modding farming simulator. Boy, words are rough. It's just me sitting down, taking the time to learn how to do it. It doesn't look like it'd be that hard, but it's one of those things, juggling. Do I want to try to, I can't say make a game, because then I'd have to have the game engine and things like that, but I guess try to take somebody else's work and redo it the way I would like it to be done. Of course, that wouldn't be something that I'd ever actually be able to publish without consent, but yeah, definitely something I would definitely enjoy doing if I had the knowledge to do it, if I actually took the time to do it. As far as modding what I've done for just Farming Simulator alone, basically what I've done is, of course I had to watch tutorials and be able to figure out how to do it, but I would just go in and edit a couple of pieces of line of text. That's all you had to do for it. And what I did not throw errors or anything like that. It was real simple stuff, like changing the price of the vehicle. You know, maybe you feel like it needs to be a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. It wouldn't actually be realistic for that type of vehicle in the game era, but in today's era it would be a little bit more realistic. Like, let's take the old Harvester, the Far Harvester, if you've ever seen that. It's a big red old Harvester. I think in game it was somewhere around 12,000, and if I felt like that, which I feel like that's probably about what it should be in today's world, with me having lack of knowledge how much a harvester costs, I think that's probably realistic. But if I jumped in there and decided that, yeah, you know what, I think it's probably in today's era is going to be about 6,000, well, I would just go in there, edit a few lines of text, and change it. And it would cost me 6,000. I'd go and update the one where it actually shows how much it needs to be on the store page, because you'd have to actually edit a couple of different things. You had to edit the vehicle itself when you go to buy it, and you'd have to edit the store page to show how much that it's cost. I've done that. I've also configured what it could hold. You know, certain harvester or certain trailers could only hold various types of grain, and well, I'm on a map that requires me having peas, beans, something like that, you know. Well, I'd have to go in and I'd have to tell it that that's what I want that trailer to be able to hold. And what I didn't do was change the graphics. I would use old graphics, like the harvester's filling the trailer with, we'll say peas. I would use probably the graphics of wheat, you know, just real generic. I didn't feel like going in and trying to figure out how to change the graphics on stuff like that. That wasn't my cup of tea. I'm not too depressed that it came out looking like that. That's quite alright for me. As long as it shows that it's shooting something in the trailer, I'm happy. The other things I've done, I've taken and added hitches, removed hitches. change that out just a little bit. Some of the mods that you download, yeah, whoa, we actually, yep, realism, yeah, definitely got that going. I'm pretty sure if I didn't blow my brakes, I would have done something there. I think my trailer would be landing in my lap. If not, the tractors probably would have came off the trailer. Yeah, certain mods in games would throw errors. You'd go to try to hook it up to a trailer and it just wouldn't connect or whatever. I would go in and try to fix those if I could. I had several cases I did not have the knowledge and didn't feel like taking the time to do it, so I didn't do it. Seeing what I have from the modding aspect of things, it amazes me how many people put up mods that were just terrible. They would take somebody's piece of work, basically like I did, redo it, and it would not work. And I would sit there, and some of them I could figure out why it didn't work, and I was like, were you really too lazy to do this? Why did you even bother? I mean, you did all the hard work, you just a couple of pieces here and there and finish it out. And seeing that from just my lack of knowledge in certain aspects really makes me wonder what in the world game designers are going through whenever they're making their games. I'm like, if you would have taken just a few more minutes here and there and done this right, your game would just be absolutely phenomenal. Getting into the needing to pay attention part. We've actually kind of passed that, but yeah, let's actually go ahead and try to drive realistic. This time I need to go 37, and I'm thinking probably 35. I think 37 to 40 might be for the average car. Oh boy, sliding a bit. Yeah, if somebody was coming up behind me right now, they had all their settings jacked up, they wouldn't be happy with my driving, I'm sure. Those people that like to go 50 miles an hour, basically like I do on accident, not on purpose. 50 miles an hour through a 25 mile an hour curve. I'm not saying those are bad people, I'm trying my best to drive a little bit more realistic. And that's why we've got the settings turned all the way down. It definitely makes for a long gameplay at certain times. I can remember when I was playing back to Might and Magic Clouds of Exene. I think that was the one that I enjoyed playing most of the time. Looking back on that, the amount of hours I've spent playing that game, that was something. I remember there was one cheat in the game, and once I found that out, I still spent quite a bit of time playing it, but once I found out that cheat, it just kind of almost ruined the game for me. What you did is you took all your characters and you went to a certain part of the world, and there would be a guy that would let you work for him, and he would pay you, kind of expected. The problem with the game was your characters actually get old and die of old age. So what you would do is hang on just a second. Sorry about that. You would go to him, you would work for weeks on end. Your characters would get old, and right before they would die, of course you'd save your game, you would remove your characters from the party, go and pick up a new party, and rinse and repeat until you were just filthy rich. You could buy everything that you wanted in the game. That kind of ruined it for me, for obvious reasons, but I did manage to not do that cheat and still manage to get a few more hours of gameplay in there. And it's quite humorous. I mean, even still today, you know, we'd get in conversations with my brother, and he'd say something off the wall, and I'd say something like, "Not today." That was one of the voiceovers that one of the workers said. It said, what was it? You click on them, accept the job, and when you completed it, it'd say, "Good work, good job, good work, good job," over and over and over. And occasionally it'd say something like, "Not today." There were a couple of lines I can't think off the top of my head. It pops in my head at random intervals, and I'll just say it when he says something off the wall. It's kind of funny though, because you know, I can't think of anybody else in our family that's played that game that I'm aware of. So whenever we say something like that off the wall, you know, me and him are cracking up, and nobody else knows what in the world we're talking about. It does make for some humor. Inside jokes. And of course, when you try to explain the joke to somebody, that it's one of the, you just had to be there. The amount of hours that you sit there pressing that one button and hearing those voiceovers over and over. I'm trying to think of some other games that were like that we played back in the day. And I'm drawing a blank. I'm glad that thing is slowing me down, because I sure wasn't mashing the button to do that. I had the cruise control set. That is the... it's not the... Is it the retarder that's making that noise? Yeah, I think it is the retarder. And we got a turn coming up. Well, that cruise control's messing with me. Go ahead and turn it off. We don't need it right now. I'd like to know when they did that. What patch was it that they implemented the cruise control to be able to stay online? Of course, I think I've brought that up probably one too many times. Alright, get that speed up there. Come on, 700 horses, you can do it. We're at half a load. It actually got up there fairly quick. We can manage to get it up to about 55. And we should be about halfway there. I would like a full screen map. Not full screen, but yeah, full size map on the mini map whenever I wanted it, not all the time. Now might not be the best time. Not at 70. I think that'll be slow enough. The hill's gonna slow us down a little bit anyway. I'd say what I'd really like to be able to do is go back and enjoy the games I used to enjoy in childhood. That would be awesome. I can remember our first, the Nintendo, not our first gaming system, but the first Nintendo. I was over at a friend's house and saw that they had the Nintendo, and they're sitting there playing Super Mario Brothers. I'll never forget that. I was like, oh man, I just gotta have one of those. And I got lucky, you know, we got it for Christmas and everything. Oh, the amount of hours we spent just playing that one simple game, that was awesome. I would love to be able to go back and enjoy those type of games again. Unfortunately, I can't do that. My brother's been able to do that recently, though. I had talked about doing Morrowind off and on with him on occasions, and let's drive a little bit better here. You know what, we'll just slow her down to 55. Keep it at that for a while. Hopefully that'll get us through there. I talked about playing Morrowind off and on, and I actually did that not too long ago. I'd say probably 6 months or so, I guess. Played it. I can't remember what system it was on. It's been that long. I think it was out on 2 or 3 different systems as well as the PC. And it wasn't on the PC that I played it. It must have been either PlayStation or Xbox. But anyways, yeah, I sat down and I tried to enjoy it. Yeah, I give it 5-10 minutes. I was like, yep, I can't enjoy this game anymore. So yeah, that one went back on the shelf. Recently, I think it was about a week and a half ago, my brother was over here and he's like, hey man, you still got any of those old systems and games and stuff? And I was like, yeah, well, maybe, because we had talked several times about throwing those things out. I know there were several games that we threw out in the past, and I was like, you know what, we rounded up a lot of that stuff, and we asked if you wanted it on several occasions. I'm pretty sure we trashed it, but now we got to looking around. We did find, we still had the Xbox, we had a PlayStation, and what he actually took, I think, was the Super Nintendo with about 4 or 5 games, I think is all we had left on that. And one of the games I saw in there was Zelda. And at the time, I wasn't going to say anything while I was here because I didn't want him to leave it. You know, I wanted him to take it and enjoy it. But I was like, oh man, Zelda in my head. You know, I'm thinking, oh, Zelda, I want to still play that game again. And I'm glad I didn't say anything. Because, yeah, as soon as he left, I hopped on the computer to check out Zelda. Oh, I was so depressed. I was like, man, I remember this game used to be so cool, but there is no way I could play that game today. Those 2D graphics and, yeah, the side scrolling from one map to the other. And even the combat, just, I couldn't do it. But no, he's taking it and he's got a little bit of enjoyment out of it. He said it didn't last him long, but he's like, he asked, he's like, man, you realize how hard these games were? And he's right in one aspect. It's I'm not gonna say hard. It's a different style of gameplay. You know, we've spent 15, 20 plus years not playing that type of game. Not to mention that you're playing it using controllers instead of mouse and keyboard. Which, you know, I'm not using mouse and keyboard for this, but it's a driving game. A little bit different there. Yeah, I mean, so you've got to get used to using the controllers, as well as get used to the fact that in certain games you had 3, sometimes 2 lives, and that was it. You had to get from point A to point B, and if you didn't, that was game over. Restart it. That's kind of like I was talking about games with permadeath. I wish there were more of them. Oh, wrong way. I'm going to go right. So I'm actually in the right lane for once, but I'm going a little bit too fast, and by little bit I mean about 50 miles an hour too fast. Went from going too fast to too slow. Yeah, he's all talking about the games being hard, and I was like, well, yeah, they were, but it was a different form of hardness. You know, when we first started playing with mouse and keyboard, that was hard. And going back and playing those games, I could definitely see how that would be hard. It kind of boils down to what makes a game hard. Is it the fact that you haven't played using a controller, or is it the fact that you haven't played using a keyboard and mouse, or is it the way the game is set up? You know, I mean, and developers will tell you nowadays they're making games around mods, and I think that's the biggest mistake they could have made. I think the biggest mistake they made is allowing mods in games in the first place. Yeah, some games I'm okay with, you know, like Farming Sim. There's no win or lose there. That's perfectly fine. But when you get into an online game, let's say Rift or EverQuest, I'm not even sure if they have what would be equivalent to what was that thing called, DBM? Yeah, making games, and then people that make mods to make the games easier, then the developers have to go back behind you and say, okay, you know, you guys are making mods that are making the game a little too easy, so now we're having to redo our thinking on the game and make our game hard, even though you've got the mods. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I don't like the ability for modders to come in and basically, in my opinion, running the game, making the game easy. Now, if it's something as simple as being able to move the UI around, that's awesome, that's welcome, and I hate to say it, but shame on the developers for not making the UI a little bit better, being able to reorganize it the way you want to see it. And I guess, in a way, they do have a point. Their job is to make the game, to make it playable and enjoyable, not so much on the UI, and I think if they would spend the time to unlock the UI, allow us to move things around, I don't think it would take them that much compared to actually making the game itself. That would definitely be some welcome change. Now, Star Wars did go all out on that one. Maybe even it's a bit much for me going through there and reorganizing the toolbars, but once you've done it, it's not that bad. You know, you can always load up a save that you've got. That initial unlocking everything is a bit much for me. I think it could be done a little bit better, but outside of that, I think they did a pretty good job on allowing you to move things around without actually having to rely on a mod to do that. It is just a little too quiet here. I say that now, we just passed the semi 5 seconds back. Are we almost there? 1 hour away? Can we see it? Wow, we're almost there. I thought this trip was going to be a bit longer than it turned out to be. It's all those mistakes I'm making. Every time I make a mistake, it just makes the game feel like I'm going faster. Maybe I'm going... Yeah, I think we already said that, didn't we? We're going too fast, and that's what's making the game go too fast. Yeah, we do need to rest. Choices. Am I going to pull over and do it now that we're 3/4 of the way there? Or I should say 90% of the way there, actually. We'll see. If the station pops up, we'll go ahead and take a rest, since we are well within the range, I'm sure. Yeah, need a little bit more brakes there. Ooh, a little too much. Yeah, we'll leave it at 40. I have a feeling, yeah, looking at the road, we're going to have to drop that down here in a minute. Is there anywhere to pull off? I don't see any gas stations or anything, so we might actually end up resting next episode, or I might... I don't want to do it off camera because we might actually end up with more money. Yeah, we might just save it for our next episode, if I can remember. There's one good thing I remember. Oh boy. I remember the fact that I can't remember anything. There we go. Is that somebody coming, or did I put a... Yeah, that is somebody coming. Thought maybe I put a waypoint up there that I didn't need. Yeah, I probably blinded that guy. Alright, come on, get up that hill. Is that snow on the face of that mountain over there? Is that just... I can't tell if that's rock or snow. Probably rock. I don't remember seeing any snow in the game unless you actually downloaded the mod for it. This is one thing I thought about downloading the mod, but all it does is it adds it to the ground textures. It doesn't do anything as far as slipping and stuff. Although, that's probably a good thing, because I'd end up in more wrecks anyways. I wouldn't mind trying it out, but yeah, other than that, it just kind of covers the ground, and I wouldn't be able to tell if I was on the right side of the road or not. Not like I usually am anyway. I kind of go over those white, like that right there, going over those white lines anyways. I'm kind of doing it on both sides. My trailer's doing it, and I'm doing it in the cab. Like the cab would be doing it on the right, and the trailer's doing it on the left. That's one large... Whoa, get over, get over, get over. Sitting there looking at the trailer trying to make sure I don't go over the white lines, and yeah, I almost ran that guy off the road. Alright, we're getting close to town. Yeah, this nighttime doesn't feel as bad as it has been in the past. I can remember doing a couple of episodes and I couldn't hardly see anything in front of me. I wonder if that was a patch update or something. I haven't changed anything in the graphics other than I did take off the sun shafts. That's the only thing I've changed. That and the sound options I turned those up. Yeah, nighttime doesn't feel as bad. Maybe I'm just not in a dark area. Yep, okay, slow down. Here's our turn if we can make her. We got plenty of room to slow down. Now that is a little bit dark, yeah. I can't see if anybody's coming. I guess as long as they had their headlights on, I'd be able to see them. Here's the lampposts. Those kind of look a little weird to me. They're alright though. I'm not going to complain about it. They look a little strange. Alright, the lights are out. We'll take her nice and slow. 25. Nobody's behind us. Might as well just kind of admire the scenery. Kind of waiting for somebody to come up behind me and blow my horn and scare me out of my chair. Alright, I guess we'll go ahead and pick it up. We're almost there. Alright, so am I actually going to have to get on that? Yeah, it looks like it. I'm going to have to get on that sign and choose our spot. And I'm going to do it the smart way this time and not hang out in the middle of the intersection. Hello there, John. John. I would have named it Little John or Big John or something, not John. And we'll go for hard mode, I guess, if we want to call it hard mode, which is actually just the original. How can I do this? I guess we'll... it's going to take more than one attempt anyways. Oh, didn't see that trailer there, and I guess it's non-collisionable. I thought these things were collisionable. Alright, so we can get her straightened out here. And the people that are honking are probably going to be laughing here in a few seconds. Let's see how long it takes me to get this thing straightened out. I'm going to give it 2 attempts on this. Well, we might get lucky and get it on 1, maybe. Oh, wrong way. Yeah, I had it. Well, I said 2 attempts. Let's not make it 3. I find this so much easier in real life. Not a big trailer like this, but trailers in general. Hey, that'll work. Yeah, not a semi-trailer. Oh, we got excellent. Awesome. It's about time. So, how many more levels do we have? Where is our progress history? So we're at 33. That's not actually what I wanted. I wanted to see the talent tree skills. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 more levels. Alright. So I guess the level cap is 37 if we're 33. Or are we 32? Okay, 32, so it'll be 36, I guess, is the level cap. Alrighty then. Go ahead and park her and sign her off. Without damaging our truck would be awesome. Cool. Alright, we'll go ahead and call her. It doesn't look like we've got enough to get another truck on the next episode. We'll wait and see. Maybe when I log in we might get a few extra dollars, because I know the game doesn't, the way the game's set up, it kind of runs in the background, so we'll see. But I don't plan on getting another truck. Probably going to do a load and then we'll check it out. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Until next time, Scully signing out.